you all to Google and to the YouTube space. I can't imagine that anybody doesn't know who these people are. We got Chris Webber, Lisa Leslie, Nate Robinson. I mean, 4-time Olympian, 5-time All-Star, 3-time slam dunk champion. The list of accomplishments goes on and on. Nate, the only one that's ever actually done that.
And stand up, Nate. This is a guy that won a three-point, dunk contest. No, stand up. And this is the guy that's a bad man right there.
But we're going to talk about a number of things today. I'm excited to be here. I'm Nelson Boyce, by the way. I work here at Google, and I'm thrilled to have the best seat in the house with these lovely folks up here today. So everybody knows, I think, that Uncle Drew in theaters nationwide on Friday, of which all of these folks are stars. It's going to be exciting. I saw the movie last night. It was incredible and very, very funny, and all of you did your thing. I will tell you that for sure. Just to give you all a little bit of the premise of the movie, there's a gentleman who, under unfortunate circumstances, is unable to field his team at the Rucker. So for those of you who don't know, Rucker is a playground tournament up in Harlem. It happens every year. It's incredible. Number of historic players have come out of that. But there's one player in particular, played by Kyrie Irving, who has the opportunity to go ahead and field a team from the past, if you will, to come back and play the Rucker once again in hopes of winning the championship. And that's when all these folks come into play. It's based on the character Uncle Drew. Some of you may know, based on Pepsi created digital episodic that was very popular and ultimately became a movie with Lionsgate, our friends at Lionsgate. So to that end, this question is for everyone. How did this come together, right? How did it go from kind of an episodic to a movie? And did your agents reach out to you, or did you guys actually audition? Like, how did it work?
Well, Lisa definitely auditioned. I'm going to let her tell y'all's story. This is awesome. Her story is pretty cool to mine. But I just bugged Kyrie until he told me yes. So every game that we had, I played against him. He's at the free throw line, and I'm like, Uncle Drew, what's up? Can I be down? I was just bugging him every time he checking in the game. Bro, I'm serious. What's up? Let's do it. Exactly. So, then he hit me on Twitter. It was like, were you serious about, being in a commercial? And I was like, yeah, of course. And that's how I'm here.
The origins for Nate. Okay. Lisa, what about you?
For me, my agent called and said that they were shooting for Uncle Drew, and there was a part for Betty Lou, who plays the wife of Preacher, and Chris Webber plays Preacher. And he hadn't had the part at that time, but I was going to be the wife, and Betty Lou obviously has to get buckets at some point. So,
that's right.
I wasn't concerned about that, but I'm like, okay, so tell me more about Betty Lou. Betty Lou has to be in her 70s, and I'm like, okay, got it. So I get off the phone with my agent, and I go in my closet, and I go shopping a little bit, and I came out, and I was like, babe, and I was telling my husband, who I call babe, I said, babe, in order for me to get this part, I'm going to have to go in dressed as Betty Lou, like they have to believe I can do this. So I went in full
on.
Yes.
I was Betty Lou when I got off the elevator. I was bent over, hunching. Hey, baby, how y'all doing? I came in talking to everybody. Oh, yeah, Betty Lou is here, and can you just let the producer know I showed up? Because they said they needed me to come. Fool, please, you better move. So I just walked in, being Betty Lou, full everything, with my Bible totem, and an hour later, my agent called and said, I got the part.
She is a fiery character in the movie, I will tell you that. And what about you, Chris?
And she didn't tell you about her thigh-high stockings that she...
Well,
old lady pearls.
The nylons, they got to stop short.
Yeah, definitely.
Put a run on the side.
Yeah, exactly. I got a call, and I think that the part was already casted. And I knew that they were part of it, and of course I'm a big fan of Nate. I know Nate, and Lisa is probably out of all the athletes, probably been acting the longest and modeling all the stuff she did. And so I've been in the church my whole life.
Now, I was going to ask you about that, because you got down with it.
Yeah. Well, I used to, my father was like a deacon in the church. My mom was a choir director. So I'm one of those kids that would get whoopers in the church and come back and have to sit up there and all that stuff. And so it was, it wasn't a better role for me than to be a basketball player, which, I played basketball, and then to emulate some of the pastors I knew growing up. So
that's right.
I tried to take them along with some great movies, like, all the other guys that have done it. And hopefully you know, when you said a good movie, I'm thinking of the audience. They're like, yeah, right. Because that's,
Nah,
I think, we all knew it had the potential to be super corny, super bad,
Yes.
terrible.
That was the scariest part, by the way. If
That
you
was-
want to know the answer to that, I was like, what did I get myself
Yes,
into?
like-
I try to keep my brand real on point.
Right,
And
right.
this could be
This
a
could
true
take you down.
downfall.
Yeah, but thank God it turned out. The script was funny, and when I read the script, I was laughing out loud, and I was like, you know what, this is gonna be funny. So
Yeah.
seeing the movie the other night, it was good that it came
Oh,
through
for
like
sure.
that.
Now, I mean, I had the benefit of being at the premiere, and you brought a little extra something to it. I will tell you that. I'm not going to give it away, but there's a scene in the church that y'all will remember.
Yeah,
It's pretty
forever.
good.
Amen.
Amen. Amen to that. So a little bit more about the movie, right? I mean, I think the kind of underlying foundation about what's there is the pure love for basketball. Can you share with the audience and the folks here today the moment that you fell in love with the game?
Well, you know, I didn't fall in love with the game initially. I was not a sporty girl. I was really more into like, I don't want to get hurt. My cousins, I have amazing girl cousins who were like tough. I mean, they're running, they're kicking butt, they're playing football with the boys. And I was on the side like, do you guys need water? Like, I was just not really into sports. Really, no, this is a true story. I mean, I was the crybaby of the family. Like, I wasn't really tough. But basketball for me really found me. I think it was more my destiny because I started playing in the 7th grade, and I only played basketball because there was a girl who was in the 9th grade who was so popular. I'm like, why does everybody know her? And her name was Shay, and she was on the basketball team. And I thought, I want to be popular. So I'm going to play basketball. But I had one rule. If I fall down, I'm done. Thank God I did not fall down. Our team went 7-0. I won my first trophy smaller than this cup, no lie. And that trophy, I was like, you get a trophy? I fell in love with basketball
You've had a
once
few more
I got
since
the
then.
trophy. Yeah, it was a trophy.
2 gold medals.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you win something, that was it. And I really fell in love with it, and I put in so much work, and I realized that it would open up doors. I could get a scholarship to college. My mom was not going to be able to afford a Division I school. And so then it started to make sense having good grades and playing basketball. I was really into education, very nerdy, I know. Doesn't look like it. No, I was just kidding. I was really into school. I really loved school. But basketball just opened so many doors that I had to stick with it.
Beautiful, beautiful. And that is your championship ring, is it not? What's that?
This one is not.
Like MVP.
Okay.
This one is my top 20 WNBA players of all time.
Damn.
And a
Isn't
Hall
she
of
lovely?
Famer, by the way. And a Hall of Famer on top of all that.
This is
Nate,
the
what
only
about
one
you?
that's cute. The other ones are too bulky.
Nate, what about you? When did you fall in love? You remember the
I
moment?
mean, for me, I was brainwashed at a young age, man, watching Michael Jordan. I mean, that's, as a kid, you know, that's all you saw on TV for the most part. You know, was watching guys like that. That helped me, you know, believe that, you know, there is a way for me, a little guy from Seattle, to, you know, make it to the league. And I was just, I'm a different animal. I was just hungry. As a young kid, 10 years old, I just knew what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Since that day. And after that, I just never looked back.
Yeah, you still hungry, man. You still
Yeah,
hungry.
still
I told you,
hungry.
we could
As
use you
you-
on the Knicks. I'm a diehard fan, so you know, we could use it. And what about you, Chris?
And he was killing when he was on the Knicks, too.
Yes,
He
sir.
was doing this thing. Well, first of all, Nate is being real humble, too, because he could have gone to pro in football. That's why I wanted him to stand up, because I think basketball shows you it's not about your size, but it's about your heart. You look at AI, a small athlete, one of the nicest killers I've ever known in the game. And this guy's one of the best athletes the league has ever seen. I mean, he's won 3 dunk contests, a great DB, and could have gone to the league. So he definitely was a different animal. For me, I wanted to play football. That's what I wanted to be, a football player, and I fell in love playing sports in the street. You know, like we had a neighborhood that had a bunch of kids. And so, you know, in the summertime, it was on 2 square running bases, like playing games. And so I just fell in love with sports. I just fell in love with friends and competition, that camaraderie. And I've been this height since 9th grade. So my body told me, like, you better do this. Don't go over there with football. They're going to break your legs. So, you know, it came natural, but I always wanted to be an athlete.
That's awesome. And didn't you try out for Seattle? The
I
Seahawks?
tried out for the Seahawks, yeah. They gave me a little, I wouldn't call it a
Semi-combine?
It was a semi, yeah, it was pretty cool. You know, I got to work out in front of Pete Carroll, all the owners, and Russell Wilson was there. That was pretty cool. He gave me a football, signed the football for me. So, yeah, I'm more of a fan a lot of the time. Like I get geeked out seeing, you know, different athletes. It's pretty cool.
Good stuff. Speaking of players, right? As you guys were, as the movie came together, were there any other NBA or WNBA players that, you know, tried to maybe join the cast that didn't work out, or would you have liked to have seen in the movie?
You mean as in take our spots?
No. Not in taking your
I'm
spots.
good. No, there weren't any other players. We played against other players, but there weren't, other than, I think Gordon was the only other NBA player, right?
Yeah.
That was it?
Yeah, that was it. So
And assuming there's a sequel,
Oh,
and
that'd
I
be
hope
awesome.
there would be one, who would you want to see join you all in the movie?
Well, Kevin Durant was at the
I
premiere
did see
last
him
night.
last night, yeah.
And I told him after the movie, because before I was like, I know what you're thinking. I was like, it's not gonna be corny, trust me. He was like, all right. And then after he was like, oh man, I love it. I'm in part 2. I was like, don't tell anybody. I'll be your agent. I'll negotiate that for you. But you know, it would be fun to have Kevin Durant. I mean, to dress up. You know, we're all 70 years old plus in this movie, so you know, to dress up and to have some older guys, it'll be fun, definitely. But I think our crew. The fact that we were all athletes, the fact that, you know, we're used to being vulnerable, we're used to working hard, we're used to asking for help. That really made it a collaborative effort. The fact we didn't want to let each other down. I didn't want to let Betty Lou down.
Right.
You know, Boots didn't want to let us down. And so it was really unique. They say when you retire, you miss the locker room and not the games, and I think that's true. And I got the locker room with these guys, and I feel sorry for our director, Charles Stone, because I'm sure it was like a professor teaching a kindergarten class, because we were having fun every second.
Yeah.
You know, we were every second. All right, let's hurry up, take the take. And after that, he would pull out a backpack with music, and all the extras would be dancing. He's like, oh no, slow down, stop. But we had fun definitely on the set the whole time.
That's wonderful. So you mentioned 2 things I want to talk about a little bit more. So the makeup.
Oh man.
Talk a little bit about that, because I mean, it was full-on transformation for all of you.
I kind of, for the first time, you know, I called my mom. I'm like, Mom, I'm sorry for making fun of you for putting on makeup for hours. Like, it sucked. Like, literally, it's sitting there hours doing the makeup. I'm like, man, so this is what takes women so long. Tell my girl, like, I feel you. So it was tough. It was difficult, 4 hours for my makeup, because, you know, they had to cover all the tattoos and stuff for me. But it was still fun. Once I got the 4 hours out the way and I'm in character, I'm like, yeah, when do we start?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it was long for me.
I
Same
think for
experience
Betty
for
Lou, yeah, it's women were a little bit more accustomed to being in a chair, not quite 2.5 to 3 hours. So to get ready to be Betty Lou and have the prosthetics put on, I try to think of it as being in the spa. And we, you know,
trying to relax
calm
through it.
down
That's a
and
long
relax.
spa. That's a
And then I
long
would put
spa.
my headsets on, the wireless ones, and take it behind my neck. And then I watched Insecure and Game of Thrones. So this was last August, so you know I had to finish up the season, right? So I just watched that every day until I had to have my eyes shut. And then, you know, I was good. I think the hardest part is probably taking it off. Because I'm
really?
like, yeah, well,
Well, yeah,
because we had
'cause
to
they-
wear wigs. Well, yeah, we all
I
had
did,
wigs
yeah.
also. You know, I'm like, listen, edges are really important in this lifestyle. So I'm like, listen, because they, you know, they want to put glue. I'm like, okay, listen, this is a movie, but I need you to just pin this down, and Betty Lou will be fine. But the takeoff is a little strenuous because they have to basically exfoliate your face.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's scrubbing, and I'm like, listen, we need to look good. Chris had some little bit of reactions. Actually, I think you had the biggest struggle of everybody.
Yeah, I felt like I was getting burned with acid. Like during
His face was like,
I'm trying to act like I'm burning. It really hurts, and my neck is coming off. But it was 3 hours, and we weren't used to the makeup chair, and so
I had
that.
to switch him to my face cream, actually.
Yeah. I
And this was an everyday
got some
thing?
beauty
Every
lessons from her
Yes.
every day.
Yes, I'm like, you
Yeah.
guys have to moisturize, boys. You need to moisturize.
I didn't even know what
They were like,
moisturizer
what does
was.
that mean? We're like, when you leave here, you need to
Yeah,
put
we
more
just-
cream on. And I come back, you know, fresh face, because you got to.
Right.
And they're like, you don't have any irritation. I'm like, no, guys, you have to moisturize. It's so important for your life. Rodan and Fields, guys, look me up on
Ice.
Instagram.
Yeah.
You find
She's
me.
got her green juice working
Right,
here,
our
too.
makeup
so that's all
coach,
part
that's
of it.
right, our
Yeah,
healthy
facts.
makeup coach.
We had a green juice every morning.
Yeah, we did.
Spinach, kale,
Great for the
blueberries.
skin.
Lisa kept us. You know what? Thanks for keeping us right.
I
You
got
did-
you guys. I'm the mom.
And you also mentioned the fun that you all had on set and the dancing. I'm not gonna give the whole thing away, but there is a dance battle in this movie, and I just wanted to kind of get the real scoop. So who's got the most skills?
Nate
by far.
Nate and
See,
Kyrie.
with me, I just couldn't wait to start the dance. Like, man, can we hurry this up? Like, this is my thing right here. Like, the music, the fun, it was fun. Who surprised me most was Reggie Miller, because he couldn't dance a lick, and he really got out there, really showed like he can do it. It was awesome.
Reggie
Yeah,
how
you talked
to
about it.
dance.
We
You
were
the choreographer.
literally practicing throughout our lunch times because we didn't have that
'Cause
much
you
time.
gotta start the
But the
routine.
funny thing is during lunch we're literally in our makeup. Like, we can't take our makeup off, so we're literally having conversation like this with old people. So
Yeah.
it was like funny. I was telling Steve, I was like, bro, this is funny. You guys are telling NBA story. Man, I remember when I used to dunk on Shaq, and I'm looking at him like, well, he looked like a real preacher. Preacher out here looking, it was pretty cool, just the whole dance scene and getting Reggie, ready to dance.
Reggie started with 0 moves.
Because he was nervous the whole time. Like,
Zero
bro,
moves.
just enjoy yourself, bro. I said, you're in the
Like, have
mask.
you
You're
ever
good. Nobody
danced?
even knows. Just,
Right.
just do your things. But he did a great job, though.
So you put him through a clinic.
Yeah, I had
Yes,
to get him up.
daily.
I had to get him
I
right.
gotta post those videos.
Yeah,
I get it
Reggie's
right.
ready to go to weddings and stuff now, because
Yeah,
before
he wants to
couldn't-
dance. Yeah.
he was socially dancing awkward. Like, you don't want it. He'd probably hit you with the, you know what I mean?
With the sprinkler.
Oh, he's terrible. But now he
Now
can
he
walk.
get the
He's
shoulder,
back
he
straight. He's like,
dancing
want to dance? Anybody at the party? What? So yeah, happy for Reg.
Nate, dance class 101.
Too funny. In terms of anxiety, and all of you have done some level of acting, right? First pro game or first day on the set? Which one was more nerve-wracking?
Oh, first program.
Yeah, for me.
Yeah, first pro game for sure.
At least you get a second take and you can mess up.
Yeah,
But, you're checking Akeem Olajuwon your first game. You're gonna get embarrassed. Period. That's what it's gonna be. So
Yeah.
I'd much rather do that than a first game anytime.
I hear that. So we'll pivot away from the movie for a second and talk a little bit more about kind of career and life stuff, right? What was the most challenging time in your career, and how did you overcome it?
Oh, wow, now you just dug deep, huh?
Oh, I'm gonna keep going.
Most challenging time, probably, I would say in my career was when I was at USC as a college student. And I would say it was challenging because I went to USC, and it's a school that is a private school that students are known to be a little bit wealthier than the average. And so I remember there being times where I didn't have like a lot of money as a student athlete, and like you'll have $5 and you're like, okay, I'm gonna order a burrito and cut it in half and eat this half at this point and eat this half at the other time. There were times where I remember that, but I also remember thinking like, this is not the way it's always gonna be.
That's right.
But I wouldn't say I enjoyed my struggle, but I understood when I was in moments when I didn't have that, it was up to me to figure out ways and to find a way to make it. And it wasn't my mom's job. Once you get to college, it's like you gotta figure it out. You gotta figure out how you're gonna make it, how you're gonna be successful. And that's why I lean so much on my education and getting my master's in business and just really wanting to make sure that, I would never be in that situation again.
That's right. So it makes you
financially.
appreciate these times
Oh.
now a lot more, right?
I'm so blessed and thankful. I just feel like we have so many opportunities and you have to keep taking them. And now with social media and just so much information at our fingertips, there's no reason why people should not be doing what they love to do, their job that they love to do. I just happen to have 5 jobs. I overdo it because of probably my struggle, but that's the compensation I think I make.
Sure. Nate, Chris, anything to contribute to that?
Man,
Most
that's-
challenging time?
I would say mine, it didn't come until I got to the league, to the NBA, really, because, everything's been hard for me from being a little guy.
Sure.
But the hardest, I think, when I got to the NBA, it was like they wanted me to be somebody that I wasn't. And now for me, that was the hardest thing because I just thought, as a kid, I just wanted to play basketball. They were big on, attitude and the way you act, behavior, and it was just hard for me. I'm like, bro, I just want to hoop. I'm happy to be here. Every game was like some different superstar. Vince Carter today, oh, word.
That's right.
Like, this is crazy. So I was just enjoying the moment. I was enjoying the moment. So my biggest struggle was like every day it was like, all right, Nate, you got to chill, like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you guys are so worried about everything other than basketball. And I didn't understand that. So that was, for me, that was the hardest thing, dealing with, being a starter and a player that you play all the time your whole life and come to the league and you're just coming off the bench. Some games you don't play. that was hard. Like, that was really hard for me. But I enjoyed the ride. I enjoyed the ups and downs. The roller coaster was fun.
Yeah.
It was challenging. And I had the best seat in the house every night. So I had to switch how I thought the process of not playing. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just embrace this. You know, I'm gonna just embrace, you know, me not playing. And then I'm gonna just get on everybody's nerves, asking jerseys. I need Shaq, I need your jersey. I was going to ask every different person for their stuff to keep me, you know, right where I needed to be. So
Absolutely. Right. Chris, what about you?
Man, like you just said, it's been a journey, roller coasters. And I think that for me, it was my rookie year because I was having success, but at home, people in my neighborhood was going through things that I couldn't help them with.
Back in Detroit.
Yeah, so it was a little bit of like survivor's remorse. And, you know, you have to take responsibility for the choices that you make. But some of my friends at that time made choices that, you know, I'll never see them again, whether
Sure.
they, you know, were killed or whether they're in jail for the rest of their life. And so here it is, you know, you're reaching a dream and you're making it and you're loving it. And, you know, when you're young, you're sensitive. You should be sensitive all the time, but you're young and you're wondering why you and why not them, you know. And I just remember the whole season, I don't think I enjoyed it as much because I was living at home in my mind, wanting to bring them with me and wanting them to see all of this stuff and things I've never seen. It's the most exciting time in the world, and you have people that can't see it and don't realize, listen, you know, you can do whatever you want. You know, I just met somebody out here that's doing great, and they didn't even finish second grade. They just had a hard work ethic. Look, you could do it, you know, more stories and inspiration. I wanted to take that to them and let them see it, but it was really hard at that time to find that balance. You want to save the world and all your friends at one time, and it takes a while. And so for me, that was tough. Having success, reaching a dream, and then the kids that I dreamed with, you know, we veered off at a point of a dream, and it was like, dang, I wish you could bring me with me. So that was tough there. It was tough.
I hear that, man. I can relate to that very, very well.
That was so well said, Chris.
yeah,
Thank
Yeah.
you.
that was-
Thank you.
word.
I like that.
Man, I've got like 4 or 5 questions I wish I could ask you, but we're gonna make sure that we spend enough time letting some of the folks in the audience ask you some questions. But before we go there, we're gonna do a little speed round with you guys.
Here you go. You want to play a game?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You know
I
we
told you.
competitive now.
I told
and
you.
I gotta win.
Well, this is interesting, like, because all of you win in this one. So this is gonna be a
But
function of. Go
it's
ahead.
not fair because she always wins the
Well,
games we play.
Yeah.
She's
probably
always,
wind
she's
up
really
winning this
good,
one, too.
charades, everything.
Seriously.
But this is a this or
Hey,
that, right? I'm gonna throw out
overachiever.
2 things, and you're just gonna don't think about it too much. Just choose one or the other.
Got you.
So
Right.
what is our answer? The answer is one or
It's
the other?
one or the other. You'll see.
Like, she want the rules and everything. You know what I'm saying?
It's really not a
No
competition.
pass goes, can't collect $200. It's that simple.
It's really not a
I'm gonna try to
competition.
calm down.
And
Fine,
I'm gonna
go.
ask everybody a different
I'll try to
question.
be regular.
All right. So we're gonna start with Nate, and we're gonna go to Chris, and we're gonna keep going back around. All right.
Okay.
Dog or cat?
Dog. Oh.
Yeah.
Mac or PC?
Mac.
You better say that. You better say that.
Text or call?
Call, but I'm lying. I text.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
Yeah, I've been saying
that's
call.
why he don't answer his phone. He don't answer his phone.
Live or on demand?
Oh, man. I'm going to say live.
All right. Go to the store or order online?
Go to
Think about it now.
online. I
Bacon?
like both. Okay, online for sure.
Bacon or butter?
Oh, butter.
Dunk or three-pointer?
Duh. Next question.
Player or coach?
Player.
Hot or cold?
Hot.
Vacation or staycation?
I'm a homebody, staycation.
LeBron or Harden?
LeBron.
Beyonce or Rihanna?
Oh, man.
I'll take that question. I'll take that question.
man,
I'll
come
take it
on.
for him.
Beyonce and Rihanna.
Good enough.
Oh, for me?
No, I'm sorry. Awake
I'm
or
about to say
asleep?
both, too. Wake or sleep? Oh, man.
It's early in the morning right now.
I know. Awake.
Biggie or Tupac?
Come on, California love.
I
Tupac.
know you California
Say,
all
she
day.
bet.
Chris, Han Solo or Chewie?
Oh. Yeah. When Han Solo got frozen in Empire Strike back in the day, I gotta go Han Solo.
There it
I gotta
is.
go Han Solo.
Godfather or Scarface?
Oh, I'm gonna say Scarface for me. I grew up on that.
Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man?
Miss Pac-Man.
Shoes or sneakers?
Sneakers all day long. Sneakers.
And this is for all three of y'all. Google or Bing?
Google me.
Come on,
Hashtag
Google me.
All right. Let's open it up to the audience. We've got a microphone over here. Oh, y'all can't be shy.
Yeah, but I
Thank
say,
you.
come on now, we up here.
I got more questions I can ask. I don't want to hold.
Hey, thanks so much for coming. This is pretty much like a dream come true. Question for all of you. Who was your favorite person to play against and why?
To play against?
Yeah. Or to play with. I mean, either way.
To play against, for me, I would have to say it was Michael Jordan. One time we were playing him in the playoffs. He had 54 points, maybe, something like that. And I looked at Jawan, my teammate, and in front of Jordan, who we would work out with, I was like, oh, he sold his soul to the devil. He's not supposed to be making these shots. And I was trying to get him off. And I really thought, like, he made stuff, man, that it's not humanly possible. So it was great trying to take him down, knowing that it probably wasn't a chance that you were going to do it. So I'd say the great Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I think I would say Lauren Jackson. I enjoyed playing against her because she was really a tough player to guard and to stop, and we had so many battles. And yeah, she was the real deal. I mean, between her three-point shot and her ability to score inside was the most challenging to stop their pick and roll and stop her inside. And she could block my shot only on one side. I had to finally figure that out. I'm like, how is she getting my shot? So I had to go left. But she was the most challenging player I think I played against.
For me, it would probably be Iverson, because I was a little guy growing up watching another little guy, like, change the whole league. You gotta understand, like, what he brought to the game. He made it okay for people to be themselves, you know, and then for me, I hit a game-winning shot over him, changed my life forever.
Facts.
Plug.
Thank you. Sir.
Thank you all for coming. Huge fan. I can think of highlights of many of you, the things that you all have done, but I'm just interested in what's your best highlight of yourself.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if I didn't ask that question.
I can help.
I would say for me, my best highlight would say my children. More so than basketball, they're a part of me. I'm trying to shape them to be the best, people they can be growing up, sports, education-wise, and just living life for the fullest and what it is. So for me, it would be my children, for sure.
That was such a great answer. Well, I thought basketball initially when you asked. So basketball, just in terms of highlights, I mean, it's one thing to represent, my city and state, to have played in Los Angeles for the Los Angeles Sparks my whole career, but to have represented our country is definitely the highlight for me, to put on the red, white, and blue. And I know we weren't like in the service, but it feels like you're going to war when you play against other countries, and to come out on top. Just a little backstory, our USA team actually lost we lost in a world championship to Brazil. And as you know, Brazil, like even in soccer, they're very animated. They cheer. So they were so animated, and this is the problem. They put us on the same bus to the game and back.
Oh, wow.
Right, yeah, that part.
Who does that?
So on the way back home, Team USA, and it was one of the first times I got to the national team, so I was one of the younger players at that time. They had made a bet with their coach that if they beat Team USA, which is a really big deal, that they could shave his head. Yeah, so they shaved his head on the bus while we rode back with them. So that level of disrespect, I vowed we will never lose. Not only to Brazil, but we would never, because we ended up with a bronze medal for the world championship, which is like, I don't even know where that medal is, if I accepted that or not. Never talk about it, but the highlight then is to go on and win 4 gold medals. I also have 2 gold world championship medals that nobody ever talks about, but to go on and win gold for the rest of my career wearing the red, white, and blue is a highlight for me.
Yeah. For me,
Go USA, right?
That's a hard story to beat. I would have been, we'd have had beef. We would have.
Oh, was awful.
I would have taken the clippers out of his hand, thrown it out the window or something like that. It would have been a fight on the bus. Wow. I'd have to start with maybe playing in college, playing with the group of guys, the Fab Five at that time. And the reason why, Nate talks about his mentality, and if you get to know Nate, he's still that 10-year-old, meaning he's still a beast when it comes to sports and his mentality. But to be at that age, I think all you guys understand, or maybe you're in that space now, to be free mentally, to know that the world's against you and to embrace it and to take it on, but not be bitter enough where you've experienced things and it turns sad. It's more so like an embracing of taking on the world. And playing with those guys was just, so much fun because we were on the same page. We all were dumb, young, and naive and believed we could do it all. And that's a great place to be when you work hard, And so I would just say being with those guys every day, having them affect my life and who I was and building those true friendships and then the highlights, dunking on people too with those guys. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Speaking of dunking, Lisa, I'm surprised you didn't say the dunk.
Yeah, that's other people's highlights.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
True
not the
indeed.
highlight of my career.
Right.
Hey, thank you guys for coming and stopping by here. So fast forward, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, if you could have one game that your great-grandchildren could watch of yourself, which game would you pick and why?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That was so deep,
Yeah,
man.
y'all should be
Yo.
reporters, man. I've never been
Welcome
asked
to
these before.
I would say that I have not a lot of games in my whole career where I have triple-double, but I do have one in particular where I had 10 blocks. And I won Defensive Player of the Year. I love playing defense. I loved playing defense. It was, playing both ends of the court, of course, and people know about the scoring, but I really love defense. And so I have one game where I had 10 blocks. And I would, if for my son and daughter who plays sports and plays basketball, I would like for them to see that game because I think that game was just so complete, whether it was scoring or rebounding and blocking shots, but the defensive effort, and it was a championship, so that was really important. But yeah, 10 blocks that's pretty good, right, Chris? For real.
I'm like, damn, shot it.
Get that out of here. Yeah, that game was pretty cool.
Yeah. 50, 100 years from now, want our kids to see, you said, or?
Great-grandkids.
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 I would say I think I had 28 points and maybe 13 rebounds, but it was in a game I called a timeout at the end of the game. And I would show them that because I would want them to know you're going to go through things in your life, even when you did your best, and you won't win. Maybe you'll make a mistake, maybe you'll lose, but look how good of a game it was. Look how it turned out at the end, and hopefully they would see, wow, that was a messed up moment, and hopefully they would ask the question, what did he do after that? And so hopefully that would teach them to have a great game, do your thing, kill it, be yourself. But if you run into, a big speed bump, go ahead and cry, get out your system, get around some people that love and support you, forget it and keep moving. Even the best games, like Lisa talked about her 10 blocks, I bet it's fun for her to think about it now because when she was a player, she's so competitive, she didn't think about her best games then because she could always know I can get 11 blocks or 12 blocks. And so hopefully through that, they would see, Dad was a bad man. He made a mistake, and look at that. And then wonder how you get through it. And hopefully that would inspire them to never worry about their, worst moments, even in the best times of their lives.
Yeah, I'm going to say for me, when I played with the Knicks, I had a coach named Mike D'Antoni who sat me down. He didn't play me for a whole month. I'll never forget this. He sat me down for a whole month, didn't give me a reason or nothing. And I remember one on New Year's, I called my mom. I'm like, Mom, I need you to come. I need somebody, there with me just to, see a familiar face, somebody that I love. And my mom's like my best friend. So I flew her to Atlanta and I took her to dinner. We went and ate and I ran into the coach. I ran into Atlanta Hawks coach and he was like, you playing tomorrow? I was like, nah, I ain't been playing for like a whole month. So it was like 14 games he sat me. And he ended up putting me in the game the next day. And I ended up having like 41 points. We won the game, went to overtime. And the whole time I could hear my mom cheering so loud up there, like, over everybody. That's right, Nathaniel Cook. Like, she was going hard. And so, as a, like, yeah, like, the whole, I'm like, yeah. I was like, that's Mom Dukes. You know, as a kid, I always, you know, you hear that, you know, that reassurance that mom is there, you know what I'm saying, for me. So, you know, I just played that game for her, and it changed my life because, you know, it was a big story, Sports Center, you know. A coach sitting you down for a month. You know, I worked out hard before the game, ran bleachers, still did my workout. So that would be something I would love for my grandchildren to know, like, even through, you know, you go through adversity, you just stay ready, no matter what. Because when your number's called, you know, I could have easily just not been ready and just said whatever, or even told him, no, I don't want to go in. I just say, you know what, I'm going to take full advantage of this. I'm going to see where it gets me. I said, God, just, if you don't let me make the first shot, because it's a wrap. I make this first one after, you know, sitting down a month. So that was, for me, that would be probably the game coming in, helping my team. And we won, too. That was a big deal. And all my teammates supported me. They showed me a lot of love. It was pretty awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. We're going to take one last question.
Hey, y'all. This is awesome. So it looks like Uncle Drew is a movie about old school guys teaching the youngins what's up, right? So when you were young, what's a bit of advice that you received from somebody older, wiser, that helped you in your success in life?
With me, the first day of practice, I was drafted by Golden State, and I was so excited to meet Chris Mullin. So he's like one of the best shooters I've ever seen. You know, New Yorker talk like this. You know, tell you Webb, come over here. You can't understand him. I'm excited. And I wanted to just be around him. I bought a place where he lived. I wanted the car that he had. I wanted to be around him. And the craziest thing is, more than shooting, more than anything else, after practice, he brought me into the training room and he said, this is what I want you to do every day. It was a hot tub and a cold tub. He said, I want you to go 2 minutes in the hot tub, 2 minutes in the cold tub, 2 minutes in the hot tub. I'm like, come on, you don't need to stretch when you're young. You can do everything. And then I found myself doing that every game. And through all the injuries, I found myself 15 years later doing that what he told me. So he really taught me how to take care of my body with nutrition. He was at the end of his career, and telling me all that in the beginning really helped me kind of at least focus my mind and be ready to listen to my body and stay prepared the whole time. And I think he had a big influence on how I take care of my body, how I prepared in the summer, because he was relentless in his training. And I think that was the basis for, you know, having a pretty good career for me.
For me, as a kid, I think my mom was my biggest inspiration, and she shared a lot of things with me. Being a single parent, raising 3 girls, she would, and then just being so tall. Like I've been tall all my life. My 2nd grade teacher called home and was like, "Do you realize Lisa's taller than me and the rest of the children?" And my mom's like, "Yeah, well, what's the problem, you know?" So, you know, my mom's like, "I'm 6'2", her dad's 6'4", and she's like, "Oh, okay, well, excuse the call." So being this tall all my life, having my mom be so positive about, you know, my posture and sitting up straight, and that, you know, some people grow on the inside and some people grow on the outside, and our family's been blessed enough to do both. So don't be ashamed of being tall, and you have to stand up tall. And, you know, there was a lot of that when you're tall and people ask you every single day, do you play basketball? And you're like, no, like, why do you, I don't understand the association with my height and basketball. So for me, through grade school, it was always this constant barrage of questions and people talking about my height. And it was really annoying. When you're a kid, you don't really get the whole comments and stuff. So my mom was always constantly dropping in these seeds of building me up and making me feel confident and comfortable in my own skin. And I think that the biggest takeaways that she would tell us was small things like, you can't receive anything with a closed fist, so always have an open hand in helping other people. You know, we're all God's children. Just really a voice of love and positivity that eventually my sister and I, we're always like, we're our mother's daughter, because all we do is if somebody says, oh my God, this headache is killing me. No, don't say that, because it's not killing you. You just have a headache this moment, but you're gonna be better in the, you know, everything is like this whole positive affirmation, but I love it. And the other thing she would tell us was the 7 Ps. The 7 Ps are proper prior preparation prevents piss poor performance. So the 7 Ps was simply whatever you want to do, whatever you want to get out of life, you got to do it. You got to work hard, but you're going to get out of it whatever effort you put into it. So if you're going to do it, what did your mom say? Do it right or don't do it at all, because you're going to go back and do it anyway in our house. So it was all of these positive affirmations that my mom kept giving my sisters and I that I felt helped mold me into being able to accept. God knows I didn't know I was going to get to 6'5". Like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, Lord, stop. Yeah, like, what are we doing here? Because 6 foot was like 6 foot in the 6th grade. I know, right?
What? You were taller than me in 6th grade.
6th grade, I was 6 foot. Thank God my teacher was 6'2". And there's other Wonder Boy, Samuel. He was 6 foot. So I'm like, perfect. And the tallest people got to be the line leaders. I was so excited because it's usually the tallest are in the back. You guys don't feel me, but listen, when you're tall, this is like a struggle here, right? Because people look at tall people problems. Exactly. You're always the line leader, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not right. Who made up that rule? So anyway, so all of that was just, I feel like my mom being so positive and knowing ahead, having the fruition, because her growing up in the 60s, being tall was just like, what are you doing? Like, who told you could grow? We're gonna have to get shoe boxes for your shoes. It was a negative thing, and parents and people made negative comments about tall women. So I'm thankful that my mom gave me all of that positive affirmations. And for all the tall women in the room, feel good, represent, keep your head up high. We are just queens amongst the people.
Well, I don't got tall people problems.
What's the other end of the spectrum?
So mine will come from my mother as well. She really wasn't the vocal. She led by just showing. 3 jobs, took care of 3 kids, all on her own. And I just watched her just hustle and grind every day, and she smiled doing it, So my mother been working for Boeing for like 30 years, and she's been a janitor for 30 years, and she's never complained a day in her life, and she just goes. So I think that's where I get my hunger and drive from, is from her for sure.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Webber, Lisa Leslie, Nate Robinson.